And he goes, Ma, I got hair on my thing. And I said, no, you don't. Let me see. And so he showed me like the top portion and there was hair, in fact. And I was like, what? Oh my gosh, because this was. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome to another episode of
Is the mic on? Yes, it is.
We double checked.
And
checked. And so today's Sunday. We're coming at you with our weekly video. Mm-hmm. And our topic for the day is the birds and the bees.
Birds and the bees. When is the right time to tell your child or the story or the sit down or whatever it's called?
Why?
Why she always singing something? I have no idea what that song is. Why?
Tell them that it's human nature. Why do they do it that way? Now you gonna say you don't know Michael Jackson?
She just came out the blue. Why? I don't know why. Who? What?
Asking all those questions, making statements, assuming.
Right. So fine. Anyway.
So Leslie brought this topic to me today after she had a conversation with some of her kids at home, and I was like, it's something to think about. So I have 4 kids.
I have 5.
And my kids range in age from 25 down to 8 years old. So 25, 20, 15, and 8. I was going to go 25, 47. The right around your lip.
And mine are 23, 19, 16, 10, and 8.
You got a lot of kids.
I do have a lot of kids. But guess
1,
what?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9.
We're going through those numbers sound like we doing an auction, like 45, right. 45 going once.
So. Look, you ain't even got a bid high. So.
Right. Matter of fact, you can get 2 for 1.
2 for 1, right? Why did that just give me a bad flashback of Stay Woke? Of the movie, what's the name of that movie?
Don't know.
Come on now.
I don't know.
Anyway, it was the movie with the black dude. He had the white girlfriend, and there was in a sunken place. What's the name of the movie? Get Out. Right. Remember they were doing the auction?
Right.
Anyway.
No.
Let me get the tea and stir the tea. She got that sunken place.
I don't ever want to drink tea again after watching that movie.
Why one day I was making tea and I was stirring it not too long after we saw it.
She hypnotized herself.
And I was like, oh
no. She almost took herself to the sunken place.
Right. Oh gosh. I don't want to record with her anymore.
That was funny.
So, okay,
back to the question or the statement or the subject.
So when did you talk to your kids about the birds and the bees?
Birds and the bees.
Okay. And the flowers and the trees and the moon up high. I'm sorry. Okay, focus.
We're going to talk about you first. I kind of like your story, how you brought it out. And then I'll tell my story. So yes, share how you shared with your firstborn.
So my firstborn is 25. Hey, John, please, what's up? When he watches this, he's going to be like, seriously, Mom?
Why you going to put my business all out there like that?
But I mean, it's the truth. We said we were going to share our real lives. And so I was pregnant with my son. So my oldest son at the time was 10. And my youngest son was in utero. So my son and I were sitting at the edge of my bed. We were watching American Idol or something way back when. And we were eating cereal. And he goes, Ma, I got hair on my thing. And I said, no, you don't. Let me see. And so he showed me like the top portion and there was hair, in fact. And I was like, oh my gosh, because this was my firstborn. He was only 10. I don't know. I didn't think about it. But anyway, that's how the topic kind of came up. We kind of started talking about puberty and where do babies come from and the fact that I'm pregnant, and he's asking questions, and that's just kind of how it happened.
So that's when you tell them when they get hair on their thing.
When they say, I got hair on my thing.
I'm like, okay, now it's time to talk about the birds.
It just was kind of like a natural progression into the conversation, just because of what had happened.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know. And then Raven, I think she was 11. And she knew that women have a period, and there were things that we had talked about, but not necessarily that babies come out of their mom's vagina. So when she was 11, we had that kind of conversation. And with London, I don't know. I almost feel like because he's been so exposed to the other kids, and like you and I were talking earlier, saying that kids are exposed to so much so early now.
Yeah.
He didn't really ask. London hasn't asked any questions, so
he just know everything. He like his daddy.
Just know everything.
He just know it. He just came out knowing it.
Right.
I know what this is that I'm coming out of. And I'm like, he just know everything.
But
sorry, that was funny.
But I'm very open with my children,
right?
Also, so anything they ask me, I find what I feel, is an age appropriate or even individually appropriate way to address their concerns. Because what London, the kinds of question he asked me and how I interact with him is going to be different than how I interacted with Jacquees or Raven. Just because you have to know your kids, right, and how to relate to them. So
exactly,
that's my story. I won't put my other kids on blast with some of their. Though I am going to say this one. One of my kids was like, they saw me have a period. They said, "Mommy's bleeding out her booty."
You're like, get out of here. What are you doing in here?
Right. That was Raven, and that's when we talked about the period. Yeah, she was really young, but we talked about it.
Speaking of periods, my 8-year-old, I got a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old, and my 10-year-old is a girl, Reagan, and my 8-year-old is my son. He says, Reagan was walking around with an attitude. Let me say, she on her period, Mom. My 10-year-old hasn't even had it started her stuff yet. But it was so I'm like, what you know about a period? And he was like, I don't know. Reagan told me she had her period, so I just assumed that's why she's got an attitude. I was like,
but you know what's so interesting is he's your youngest.
Yeah.
And he's got 3 girls stacked atop of him.
Right.
So that's all he hears.
Right.
Periods, sex past, makeup, eyebrows on fleek and all that kind of stuff. Oh, shout out to eyebrows.
Oh, yeah.
To Kristen McKay making up face. Oh, it's Beautiful You by Chris making up faces. She just has my eyebrows on.
Right. Yeah, she got her eyebrows on fleek right here.
Okay.
On fleek.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So my story was back in the day when we used to do music ministry all the time. We used to do a segment with the youth called True Love Waits, where we try to let the teens know to wait till they get married to have sex, and we had a ring that we would give them, and we would tell our stories of how we didn't wait till we got married and the obstacles that we had to go through without waiting and doing the right way, or what God would consider the right way. And so Jordan, my oldest, 23, she will be a part of all that. She was 10, and so I got to explain to her what I went through and how the first time I had sex was I got pregnant. And so all you need is one time to get pregnant, and I had to share with her how wait till you get married, and yeah, so that's how that went with her, and she kind of shared with her sister, who was my 16-year-old, the sex, the birds and the bees. I don't know why I keep losing my train of thought. I don't know what I'm thinking about.
Why?
Right. So now I got my 2 at home, the 2 little ones at home, and the conversation today was freaking hilarious, because that's how the whole subject came about, is when is it the right time to tell them. We asked them, I'm gonna put the segment here to clip because we didn't record it, asking them where do babies come from, and their answers are hilarious, like God just put it there. And it's like, yeah, but you'll see how they're answering. Their answers are so innocent because they don't know, and I really want I want them to stay young and stay innocent.
Right.
At the same time, I want them to grow up and move out so I can go to Hawaii.
Sold.
25 cents for both.
But you said something about the fact that what they kept stressing is that they had to have a husband and a wife. It had to be a husband and a wife.
Husband and a wife.
And what's so remarkable about that to me is that, several weeks ago I was driving in a car and this man pulled up next to me and he was singing to me and my daughter was in the back seat and she was like, "Is that man singing to you? Don't he know you have a husband?" And I said, "How could he possibly know that I have a husband?" And she said, "Because you have a kid in the back seat, you have to have a husband." And it just dawned on me at that time, even then, she was like, it has to be a husband and a wife to have a kid.
Right.
No
other way. Right.
And as far as their minds.
In their minds, right.
And actually, that's a good thing. It's just troublesome that that's not really the way the world works. That's not actually what I did when I was younger, with my older two children. And, but I just think that it's the innocence of it all. And the understanding that I have a family, I have a mom and a dad, and without that, there couldn't be me.
Right.
Right. So
I used to tell the kids with the True Love Ways, it was this analogy. I love this analogy because it makes so much sense.
Bubblegum in a ditch.
She's so funny. So I would have gum, and I would give each of the kids some gum. It would be the Hubba Bubba wrapped up gum, and I would ask them, "What's your favorite gum?" And they would say, Hubba Bubba, because that's the gum that I was giving. They were like, "This is my favorite gum," and it's all wrapped up nice and neat, and it's crisp and it's fresh, and it's you can't wait to open it up so you get all that sugar. And I say, okay, before you open it, let me ask you a question. What if I gave that gum to you, and you open it up and it was chewed? How would you feel? And they said, Miss Leslie, that'd be nasty. You give me some chewed gum. I said, yeah, and I tricked you. I done wrapped it up and made it look like it's fresh and unused. But it's all chewed up. All the sugar is gone, and you just got some old
ABC
gum, and that ain't cool. So our bodies are just like that piece of gum. When you get married, you want to give your husband or your wife a fresh stick of gum, a fresh piece of gum, something that's not chewed already. You don't want to trick them, wrapping it up like it's all fresh and
putting a bow on it.
Right, it's already been chewed. And that's just not cool. You want to make sure that you give them something that nobody else has touched. And you don't want something that somebody else has chewed on already too. So if you wait until you're married, then you don't have no other gum to compare it to. This will be the best gum that you've ever had.
You can be like, "Oh, I like that Hubba Bubba, I want Big League Chew."
Right. This Hubba Bubba don't taste like that Big Red, because Big Red is spicy.
Right.
And I liked it. But if you don't have nothing else to compare it to, then this would be the best gum that you had. Now, I gotta say this too. My nephew,
delicious.
my nephew is smart, Alex Elf Leland. I hope you watch this. He said, "Auntie, my gum ain't never been chewed, but it has been unwrapped and licked on a little bit." I was like, "What?" Really?
And he was like 16?
He was 16. I think his brothers took him out for his birthday, his sweet 16, to get his gum licked on. Unwrapped and licked. But if you're watching this and you're a teen, go ahead and wait to get it licked on too, because you'll enjoy it. Well, later.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't want to. But anyway, so what do you think is the good time to talk? 10, 11, 12, when they get the hair on their thing?
I got hair on my thing.
Or keep them innocent as long as you can, because my kids they don't have no hair yet. At least I don't think they do. Yeah, they don't, because I've seen them. Okay, so I was just thinking that when they took the bath up, yeah. So
not yet.
Not yet.
Or it's gold and you can't see it because all her kids got blonde hair.
They do have blonde hair.
They yellow with yellow hair. I'm just playing.
She got jokes. My little sunshine kids. They be calling them almost albino. Almost albino. They do have blonde hair. Yeah, but when do you talk to them about it? When they ask? Or you definitely need to prepare them, because they're hearing stuff at school.
Absolutely.
And you want to let them know the truth, right, so that they don't think it's okay. Yeah. Certain things are just not okay. You want to be, like she said, open with her kids. They ask questions, you want to give them an answer, age appropriate answer, so that they don't get the wrong stuff.
Yeah, and if they keep asking, I'm gonna go all the way to satisfy their inquiry. So if it's like, sometimes kids ask you a question, you answer their questions, and they're like, oh, okay, and they let you know when they're satisfied. But if they continue to inquire,
But why? But why?
yeah, at first I thought you were asking me, but why?
No,
But like,
no,
yeah,
no,
if they
no.
continue, then and we have to take it that far, I'm going to give them the information that they're seeking from me. I'm going to let them know, and I'm going to tell them the truth, not in a graphic way, but again in a very respectful, age appropriate, and again individually appropriate way, because I have 4 kids. They're all different. I have to cater to each one of their personalities, and like London, he'll be like, okay, I'm good, my bye.
Right.
Ocean is gonna be like, why,
Right.
Jacquees is gonna tell me everything and anything, and
But,
Raven's
whoa,
kind of
that's-
like, I remember when Raven told me that she had sex, and I said,
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
you're not my flower. I told her, I was like, you're a dandelion. She was like, Ma, stop, you're making it weird. And I know it's a natural thing.
Right.
And I wanted her to wait, but she didn't, you
Right.
know, and it's like,
Right.
but yeah, but it's like, that's my baby. Like, what do
Right.
you mean, yo,
Oh.
dandelion? You got that. Oh.
Right. All her little things are blown away.
Blown away. Oh well,
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm glad that she called me on the phone to tell me. It's like, okay,
I had to ask.
she
I'm
could
a
at least
probing-
gave me a warning or something.
Right. I'm a probing mom. I didn't wait to get the story told to me. I asked, hey, what you doing? Like, I random question my kids all the time. You kissing? You having sex? Are you doing drugs? And they be like, Mom, really?
Yeah,
I need to ask
really.
because you ain't gonna tell me.
Yeah, I think that's how I have to be with London,
Mm-hmm.
because Jacquees and Raven, those are my first 2. They were very open with me. I was very open with them, and I'm very open with London. But he's not as open with me,
Right.
so I have to kind of probe with him.
Yeah.
But
Hey.
anyway, that's another episode of
Yeah.
Here's the Mic
Here's the
On.
mic on.
Comment below.
Comment below. When did you
Like-
tell your kids?
Yeah. When did you tell your kids? Did they ask you first?
Right.
Or whatever, Did somebody else tell them and then they came home and asked you about it and want to know why you ain't tell them?
Right. 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 Because my mom didn't tell me. I had to figure it out on my own. I thought I was.
Really?
That's a whole other show. We might hit this one again.
Wait,
When did I learn about the birds and the bees? When did you learn about it? Maybe we'll do that next Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Like,
right.
share, and subscribe.
All right. Smooches.
Peace out.